Hello, this is Noseman, and as you already know, Noseman knows. So welcome to another quick tutorial, and this tutorial is about UVs and unwrapping some meshes which have a particular feature. Let me show you that particular feature. Now, what you will see here is that we have this rounded bezel here. And what is unique about this, which you will find in many types of models, is that it has a double deformation. Now, what do I mean with double deformation? Well, let me show you. In a new scene, I will create a plane. And I'm going to turn on my Grow Shading Lines. And what I'm going to do is just make it 200 here. So I'm going to make it 40 by 20 or even 20 by 10. So all these are squares. So let me show you what I mean. So this is a flat surface currently. Now if I take a bend deformer and put it here, I'm going to bend this slightly this way, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees this way. Excellent. And then I'm just going to make it smaller on the X so you can see what's going on here and increase the bend. So there we go. We have a surface that has been bent in one dimension. You can see it's a simple bend. But in our other file, we have another bend over here as well. Something similar to first bending this. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to turn it on and rotate it around this way. Good. And maybe rotate it like, whoops. I think that's good enough for this example. Let me just increase the bend here. And what else do I need to do now? Excellent. I'm going to open this bend. And don't ask me what exactly I'm doing. I'm just going to make this comply to what I want to achieve in this case. There we go, 90 degrees. And I'm going to go to the minus. And bending is a subject for another tutorial. So forget about these little buggers here and look at this surface. So this surface has a dual deformation. We have one deformation and the second deformation. So let's do this one. There you go. And this is the other one. Now what happens with these kind of deformations, which represent bezels and all sorts of rounded things, is that these little polygons, first of all, are not squares in the portion that are bending. Okay, there's squares over here and over here, but not squares where it's actually bending. And these are, as you can see, little trapezoids. Okay, now here is the situation. If I wanted to create a flat model of this, and I print it on some paper, and then assemble this actual physical model made of paper so that it creates this bend, I won't be able to do that unless I break up many of these strips. Okay, so let me show you an example. I'm going to make this editable, so current state to object, let's delete that, and here is what we have. Now, if I just go directly to my UV tools, I'm going to go to my UV edit. I'm going to select all my UV polygons. I'm going to do a frontal projection just for the fun of it. And then I'm just going to relax these without any parameters. You will see that we don't get a parallel shape. And that is because these are not equally sized. I can try ABF, and again, I'll see that this is skewed. The only way I can get a half decent UV layout where these UV polygons represent the size of the 3D polygons is if I create slices. So I can go here, and with my move tool, I can double click, double click, double click, double click. I'm going to do this and do that, just double clicking with my shift press. So I'm selecting all these edges. Good. Then I'm going to go to my live selection tool and I'm going to remove these ones. Excellent. So now with these edges selected, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to turn on the cut selected edges and set this back to RCM. And what we see here now is that, yes, it's not a square shape, but because these polygons have been disconnected by their neighbors, they're free to unfold in their original position, because each and every one of these strips has a deformation in one plane, in one dimension. And you will find that this is the case if you ever have some sort of cardboard cube or paper sphere made. The only way you can flatten it on a flat surface is either by cutting pieces like this, or by just totally destroying it and flattening it down, but that won't be very practical. So with this in mind, I want to go and see how I can unfold the phone case, but by keeping sort of a square shape to all this. And although it won't be correct, because if I want to make it out of paper, I won't be able to, it will be nice and straight for us to put some artwork on it. So here's our model once again, and as you can see, the first thing is that we don't have a UV tag here. And depending on which version of Cinema 4D you have, if you select your object and you go to tags, you can do a UVW tag set from projection. Just it will add a UV tag, which we don't care about what the configuration is, we just need it there. Or if you are at a version that doesn't have this command, you just drag any material on this, and with the material selected, you go to tags and you say generate UVW coordinates and delete the material for now. So now we have a UV tag, which means we can go to the UV edit and do something about it. So let's go and take a look at certain options we have. I'm going to go to a view where I can see the model, and I'm going to turn on my Guru Lines display. So this is the back view. I'm going to select my UV polygons, press Command A to select them all. Let me zoom out here, and I'm going to go to my projection tab and press frontal. So you can see here now that we have a UV layout, which is akin to the view we have in this window. Excellent. Now I want to relax these because we have this overlap behind here, and there is another UV polygon right over that line, and I don't want that. So if I just go and say relax UVs with nothing selected, you will see that we get a general relaxation. It's not very right angled, but for general purpose stuff, it's not that bad if I'm just trying to apply some sort of material. Let's go and take a look at it in my standard layout. Just throw this in here, go back to my perspective view, and you can see that we get this kind of seamless wraparound of our texture with some slight distortion here as expected. So that's case number one. Now let's go and see another couple of cases. And in case you're wondering, this is Cinema 4D Release 18. So let's go back to UV Edit. Now the next thing I want to do is, because I've lost the main shape of the back, I'm going to undo a few times until we get back to this. And this is before I did the apply, so undo. Now I'm going to select my polygon, my 3D polygon, not the UV polygon, the 3D polygon. I'm going to select this bugger over here, and I want to keep this shape intact. So I'm going to press Command and click on the points, and now that polygon selection has become a point selection. So with that point selection held in memory, I'm going to go back to my UV polygons, select them all. Remember, the point selection is retained. Go to the UV polygons, and in here, what I'm going to do is just turn on the pinpoint selection. So what this is going to do is keep the selected points pinned in these positions and unwrap everything else around them. So if I press apply, you will see that this now has held its shape and everything else has relaxed around it. So this looks a bit better, but again we have problems because this is not straight and so forth. Again, for certain types of unwraps, this will be the one that will work for you. So now let me undo, because what I want to do is retain the proper size of each polygon. So in order to do that, we need to start adding cuts. So let me go here, and I'm going to take my live selection tool and click here. I'm going to go to my standard layout because I prefer working my standard layout when I'm doing these things. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my move tool, double click here, then shift double click here, go all the way down, shift double click here, go here, shift double click here, and shift double click here, and then go here and do the same thing. So I'm doing a partially correct unwrap right now. The only thing I've changed since the previous version is that I'm cutting down these. So essentially I'm going to release this row of polygons, this one, and this one, so they can unwrap in their actual shape, because as you can see they only have a deformation in one plane, not two, just like this. So these will be kind of stretched, but these will be correct. And I'm doing this just so that you can see the difference. So we have our points selected to pin them, we have our edges selected to cut them, and let's go to our UV edit, and we have our frontal projection here. Let's select everything and just turn on the cut selected edges in the Relax UV tab. Apply, and what you will see now is the following, that these polygons and these polygons and these ones and these ones are very nice and straight. Okay, they're not absolutely perfect, but they're much better, and they are as good as they will be. But we still have the deformation over here, and I don't really want that. What I want to achieve is that these little buggers here go up straight right here, just like that. So we need to amend a few things. Number one, we need to remove these cuts over here. We need to remove them because I want these to be welded to these. So let's go and begin. Command, double click. Let's go to the other side. Command, oh, I forgot one before, but that didn't do much harm. Command, double click. And let's go here and command, double click. Now the next step is to add a cut down here so it disconnects from this rounded polygon. So the easy way, you just press shift and you go like this once, and then you press command and you go like this once. So I've created that. Let's go to this side and press shift, add all these polygons, and then command and delete all these. Sorry, I said polygons when I meant edges. So shift and add and command and remove this one, and let's go to the last one. Shift and add and command and remove. Nice. I hate the shine, so sometimes I will just go and say constant shading lines or hidden lines or something like that. Looks much cleaner now. So there you go. So with that set, what I'm going to do is go back to this view. I'm going to select all my UV polygons and go to my projection frontal, okay, and then Relax UV. Now remember, we have the points so that we pin, and we have the edges to cut. There's one thing you must always remember. When your pin points and your cut edges are the same, then things won't go exactly as planned. So in this case, what I'm going to do is select the points and remove them, and just select the points in this hole. These are enough to provide us with a good pin, so we don't have the conflict of points pinned but edges cutting. Anyway, these are our edges, these are our points, and all are our polygons. So let's go here and press apply. What you will see now is we have the nice edges here, but these have unfolded. Now they're not straight because this has a deformation in two axes, this one and that one. Therefore these are not straight, therefore they can't unwrap in a straight manner. So how do we fix this? Well, here is the thing. We need to do it in a semi-manual way. So what I'm going to do is utilize some of the tools I have in my body paint UV unwrapping toolset and make these nice and straight with a few hacks along the way. Now, if you're using Cinema 4D Release 19, when you select points here, so let me go to my live selection tool and select some points. So where am I? Yeah, I'm in my 3D points. I'm going to go to my 2D points. Good. So the functionality has been much improved in Release 19, but since this scene was originally made in R18, and many of you may still have an older version, this is more compatible because in R19 you actually get a coordinate manager for these points, so you can align them better. So anyway, let me show you a few tricks. So number one, how do I align points? Well, when I select UV points, and I go to my UV commands, there's something that's called line up UV. And this will take the first point and the last point, keep them where they are, and everything in between, it's going to put them in a straight line. So line up UVs, and this is what happens. Fantastic. Now I'm going to go and select the top points. If you want to change the size, go here, go to your options, and make your live 2, for example. In Release 19, this has been improved massively. So now I select these, I line them up. Now, if for any reason they don't line up, just make sure that you rotate them ever so slightly or move them somewhere else, and it will allow them to align properly. Now, what I want to do is rotate these now that they are aligned so that they are a straight line. And I'm going to do a huge hack. I'm going to press E to go to my Move tool. I'm going to bring them here, and then R to rotate, and I'm going to rotate them till they are visually on the same line. I can even align them to the top or bottom of my window. I know it's a hack, but it is what it is. Then I'm going to press E to move them, and you can see that their spacing is not that bad, although they do seem to be a bit smaller. So press T to scale, click here, and just make them ever so slightly larger. So you can see that they are pretty much identically positioned to the other ones. Then press E and move it up. Now, because there's no constraint when you press Shift, maybe you want to move them in an absolute manner. So you go to Transform, and you set the Y move to, let's say, something like 0.05, and you apply, and it goes downwards. So undo, minus 0.01, apply, 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 and apply. Or let's put them there, or let's go even lower. There you go. So now they are, we know they are exactly above this, and that they are spaced out properly. Step number, I think it's number 1200. Anyway, let's select all these here. And now, because we know that this one and this one are at the same horizontal position, if I go and say UV commands line up, this is going to happen. Then let's go and do the other ones. So let me select these, and I'm going to deselect those. Oops. There we go. Let's select this one as well. Deselect these ones, and now Shift and select these, and deselect these, and Shift select these. There you go. It was simple. There you go. So now we have all these selected. So line up UVs. And now we have this really nice spaced out little rectangle. So how do we bring everything else to align to this? And that's fairly simple. Go to your UV polygon. With your live selection tool, select all these. And sometimes you just need to reference your 3D model to see if there's anything missing. So let's assume that this one was missing, or just one was missing and you couldn't see it because you didn't see the dot. If you go here, oh, that's not very obvious in this case, but what you could do is take your polygon and move these and see what happens, and immediately you see that these here are orange, whereas this one is not orange. So you can switch between your UV polygons, which there's no indication of direction, and the normal polygons, and you will see which one is missing. You don't even have to move it. So let's just go here, Shift, and select it. So everything now is selected. And there's a very interesting command in the Relax UV, which is called, turn all these off, Pin Border Points. this is going to retain all the points around the selection, and everything else is going to align. And as you can see, although all these are not absolutely square, and you can give ABF a try as well, it doesn't really change anything significantly, but now we have this really nice little ear, and all you have to do is apply the same thing to all of them. Now let's see how fast we can do this when I'm not talking or I'm just going around doodling. So points mode, live selection, select all these, and commands, line up. Excellent. Then let's go to my live selection, select all these, and let's line them up, and press E to bring them down, zoom in, R to rotate, excellent, and E to move. I'll put them there. A bit of rotation doesn't harm anyone. T to scale, fantastic. And now I go to my transform and apply a few times until I get to the same level I was before. I think it's the same level, maybe not. Anyway, I don't care. I leave that up to you. Then let's go and select these ones here and go to UV commands and line up, and then go here. And sometimes it's easier to work in a following manner. I'm going to select all these polygons, and I'm going to go to my select geometry and hide unselected, and this will remove a lot of the clutter. Excellent. Select all these here and line up UVs, and then just go here with all these selected. Go to relax UV, pin border points, apply. Ooh, I forgot one. Select this, apply. I thought I selected it, apply. Let me undo a few times and see what did I forget here. Well, it seems that there's an issue with the model. So let's go here and see what that issue is. Ooh, I hid it. Excellent. So I'm going to go to my select geometry. I'm going to unhide all. Go back here, use my live selection tool, select these, and then just go back and hide unselected. There you go. Apply, and there it is. So again, unhide all, and you can see that it only took merely a minute with my mistake included. So now I know exactly how to do it. I select all these, make sure that all the middles have been selected, command to deselect these, go here and say hide unselected, and now let's fix our points. So I'm going to select these, line them up, press E, put them here, press R to rotate, click on that, press E to bring it over. I'm not going to bother too much with this. Go to my transform, set this to positive, apply, any number of times I think I did it. You can always count them. Select all these, and in UV map, line up, select all these, and line up UVs, and then select all these, and in the relax UV, apply, and there you go. Then go back and say and hide all, and the last one we need to do is select all these, deselect that, select geometry, hide unselected, get my points, select the points, UV commands, line up, E, put it here, R for rotate, rotate them around, transform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't even remember how many times I did it. Go here, select these ones and line up, and then select these ones and line up, and then select all these and UV relax. Fantastic. So unhide all, and here we have it. We have this unwrap, which, although it will not yield an object that can be recreated out of paper or cardboard or anything like that, it does look better, and for certain cases it's easier to work with. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and yeah, please subscribe, follow, and don't forget to check out all the other amazing cinematography tutorials on the interweb. And don't forget, Noseman knows. Toodaloo.